Haya. Now that we are so tired, can we try and do something a little bit different? Even before I tell you anything about myself and why I'm here. Can we do something different? Just a little bit different. No? Hamtaki? Haya. Ni wangapi wanataka? Now, lesson number 1. When you do not know what is coming next, say yes and then figure out whether it was a nice choice to make or not. So you know what I was going to do? I was going to give some people here an opportunity to have a one-on-one session with me after today, kuongea story ya kuplan career yao. Si sasa mmekataa? Mmekataa? So tuendelee. Haya, good afternoon again. At any point, if you decide you've changed your minds, niambieni tu. Sawa? And we will do something different. All right, my name is Susan Kiamba, as you have heard. Anyone want to guess what my undergraduate degree was in? Anybody? Lesson number 2. Mukiulizwa maswali munajibu kwa sababu that is where you get opportunity. So anyone want to guess? Who's brave? Somebody brave? Yes, sir. Human resource, that's his guess. Close but not quite. Mtu mwingine? Yes. Inua sauti tusikie boss. Raise the volume. Raise the volume. Hata nikiweka hii chini, I will be louder than you. Yes, sir. Community development, that's his guess. Apana sio huko. Yes, sir. Marketing. Hey, I wish. I really wish I went for marketing. Somebody else? Yes. Psychology. Closer. So between human resource na psychology, mahali hapo. Gani ingine? Inakuanga na psychology kidogo, inakuanga na human resource kidogo. Some of you are doing this degree. Come on. Huh? Sociology. Apana wa BA. Lakini ilikuwa na sociology pia. So, I'm giving you hints. It had a bit of human resource, a bit of psychology, a bit of sociology. Yes, sir. Education. Hapo sasa. Any teachers in the house? Any teachers in the house? Trainee teachers? Am I teaching today? Am I teaching? Am I teaching? Yes or no? Haya, acha niwaambie siri. Sasa watu wenye wamesoma education, wanafunzi wakikataa kujibu maswali, what happens? You volunteer? Ama kama ulisoma 844, unarukishia nini? Chalk. Ndio? Amke. Si ndio? That's what happens. Okay, now in adult learning, we don't learn like that. In adult learning, we give answers. Si mko na answer? Ama hamna? Mko na answer? Did you listen to what Hesbon said? Hesbon said that you have experience. If you have been a volunteer somewhere, you have some experience. If you have led a club, you have experience. If you're the chairperson of any association, you have some experience. The question then is, how do you package that experience in a way that makes sense for your future employer? Haya, let me go back to the beginning. My name is Susan Kiamba. I am a career coach. When I am not doing career coaching, I am also a learning and development consultant, and I do training. Now, for those of you whose degree is in education, is the only place you can go in a classroom? Is that the only path? But when I was in your shoes, I thought it was the only path. And unfortunately, in Kenya, what has happened? Walimu ndio wanakuaga on strike. How many times? How many times? Many times. And many of the times we're also saying, niko na hiyo degree lakini sitaki kufunza, which is not a bad thing. And again, not a good thing, but I'll tell you why. And I like to share my story as I share with people tips on career and career growth and career development. So we are here today talking about how you're growing your career, or at least how you plan. What are those keys that you can apply starting today? And the first one that I'll tell you about is clarity. Clarity about who you are, clarity about what you want, and clarity about your values. Now remember, I started out as a teacher, but did I want to be a teacher? Do you think I wanted to be a teacher? People, did I want to be a teacher? No, I didn't want to be a teacher. In fact, I want to be as far away as teaching as possible. But do you know what happened? Because deep within me, I like to help people. Deep within me, I like to teach people. Deep within me, I like to develop people. Do you know what happened? In my job, I always used to find myself teaching people. Would get people in the department, wanasema, Susan, kuja. Come, be the one to show this new person what it is they need to do. So even if you run away, if it is in you, it will find you. So while you are still here, start asking yourself this question. What makes me laugh? What makes me cry? What makes me so angry that I have to do something about it? Those are some very good indicators as to the things that you're actually good at. And if they line up with your degree program, even better. If they don't line up with your degree program, there is nothing wrong with going back and learning something new. Many of us feel that we must be doing what we studied, but that's not always the case. Haya, number one, meshika number one ni? Haya. Let's talk about number two. Number two comes from number one. When you know what you want, you know it so clearly. If somebody gave it to you like this, you say yes. Then you have confidence. Now, our chief guest today told us something about being bold, something about having attitude, and something about confidence. Confidence is the second key that you must employ. Now, something happens to me quite often on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the largest professional network in the world. If you have not heard of it, go and Google it, create an account, and start your career journey there. Very many times, job seekers send me a message saying, hi. That's all they say. They don't tell me anything else. Has anyone ever sent a message like that one? Kuna watu hapa wametuma message kama hiyo? You say, hi, but you don't say anything beyond that. Now, it's one thing to be confident about who you are and what you can offer and what you have done. And it's another thing to actually express your confidence. So reach out to these people. You've met them today. Some of them are still here. Livingstone, you've seen him, you know Corporate Career Academy. Hesbon, you've met him today. He's told you a little bit about his work at UNICEF. Find these people online, reach out to them, tell them what it is that you do, tell them how you're different from everybody else. Because remember in the morning, Mr. Mbogo told us that ni kama tumeingia supermarket. Supermarket kuna product mingi sana. Now, when somebody comes looking for somebody who's done business, what's the difference between you and the next person? If they're looking for somebody who has studied education, what is the difference between you and the next person? And that difference is you. You are the difference. But what is that difference? If you don't know it, you can't express it, and you'll never be able to tell people what it is. So number two, confidence. Number three, have we heard of the 10,000 hour rule? 10,000 hour rule? The thing called the 10,000 hour rule. So the 10,000 hour rule says that for somebody to achieve the highest level of excellence in their area, they need to have done that thing for 10,000 hours. Now, 10,000 hours is an equivalent of almost 10 years. So by the time you become competent in something, you have to have been doing it for 10 years. Now, if you start today, it means you have to be 30-something for you to actually achieve your 10,000 hour rule. But the truth is, in some of the things, we started a long time ago. So think about all the things you've done. When you were in high school, are there things you were always doing? Were you organizing things? Were you planning events? Why are you bringing people together? What is it about you that you have been doing? Because there are some things that you have learned, there are some things that you have acquired, some skills that you have that are transferable. Meaning simply because you are the chairperson of debate doesn't mean that debate stops being relevant. It's still relevant. But how do you package it in a way that your potential employer, Mr. Hesbon, who was here earlier, can see that you are the right person for that job? And we've been told about so many ways in which we can actually begin to get our experience. And some of those areas are volunteering. So I know we all want to make money quick so that we can move very fast to be the successes that we wanted to be. But the truth is we all have to start somewhere. And because you have to start somewhere, the best place to start is where you are today. So looking at your local community where you stay, is there a business that you can go and offer accounting, if that is what you can do well? Is there a business that you can go and offer to do for them marketing? Is there a business that you can go and offer to do some work for them? I know some of us here have already started doing some work online. So is there a business you can approach and say, you know, I can do your social media for you? Is there a business you can go to and say, I noticed that this is happening. I do your market research. What opportunities can you find and what opportunities can you use to volunteer? And I think you happen to be graduating in the greatest time of all because online work is a thing. It's acceptable. Up until last year when COVID hit, many people did not understand that there were people making hundreds of thousands. There were people who are making 100,000, 200,000, 500,000 simply by writing online. You are not limited to people who live and work in Kenya. The world is there for you to approach. The world is there for you to reach out to. And you can work with somebody from anywhere in the world. The only thing that limits you is you. I have known people, I have worked with an intern who used to write articles for me and my business, and he used to do it on his phone. Many people think, oh, lazima nikuwe na laptop lazima ikae hivi, ifanane hivi, ikuwe na this CPU and everything, but he was writing from his phone. And he was still doing good work. So you might not have all the resources you need, but you have some resources. So the question is, how can you begin to use what you have today to position you for where you are going next? And that's the last key. The fourth one is create a plan. Now, when I shared that I was coming here today, a friend of mine shared her story. When she was seated where you're seated, just about to graduate, she created for herself a 7-year plan. She said, Nikki, graduate, year 1, I'll do this, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7. At the 7th year, she stood back and reviewed, and she saw that she had achieved every single thing she had set out to do. But it all started with her creating a plan. My challenge to you, have you created a plan for your life as you prepare to step out? And your plan isn't complicated. I know you've been taught about SMART goals. So set a SMART goal. Make it specific, make it measurable, make it achievable, realistic, and time-bound. Say, by December 2022, I will have a job working at this company doing this. And then you work back. How do you make it a reality? And the reality is, you can't find that job if all you do is sit at home and watch YouTube and Netflix. You must have a strategy. You must have a plan. So how are you going to find that job by December 2022? How many jobs must you apply for every single day that will allow you to actually achieve your goal? Who is it in your network who can help you? And you're not without a network. You know people. Or if you don't know someone, somebody knows the person that you need to help you. But at the end of the day, you must take responsibility. You. We are only here to give you a platform. We're only here to support you. And I like what your VC and DVC and Madam Joyce have said so far, that they have empowered you. You have stood on the shoulders of people who have gone before you. Question now is, what are you going to do with what you have? And unless you own it, I can't own it for you. Because one of the things I'll ask you, even if you came to me and told me today I'm looking for a job, my question to you is going to be, what kind of job? Because over the years I've learned, people say they are looking for any job, but then when you tell them, will you clean houses? No, that my degree wasn't for cleaning. Will you move to another county to work? No, it'll be too far away from home. But remember, this person said they want a job and any job. So create a plan for yourself. Decide what it is that you want to achieve. Decide what it is you want to see 1 year from now, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 7, 8, 9, and 10 years. And then work it out. Day by day, week by week, month by month. And when you do that, you are going to be in a very different place a year from now, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the line. Higher. Who can tell me the first thing I said? Tip number 1. Clarity. What is clarity? Clarity about what? Yourself. What about yourself? Sasa chorus answers zimeisha. What about yourself? Who you are, what you want, and your values. Values are the things that are important to you. Second thing which I said, confidence and competence. Those two things go together. Build your skill, build who you are, confidently stand out and say what it is. The last thing I said, number 4, create a plan. Higher. Now, can we just agree? Are we going to do those things starting today? Wangapi? Haya, si mnaona ni akina nani wameinua mikono? Si mnajuana? If in a few months you meet and they have not done any of these 4 things, umwambie wewe ni muongo. Si ndio? Ulinidanganya, utafanya na haujafanya. Let's hold each other accountable, because when we hold each other accountable, that's how we learn, that's how we grow, and that's how we progress. Haya. Are you ready for one last thing before I go away? Now you're ready. Do you people believe we can create a song in less than 2 minutes? Do you believe we can? Haya, are you ready to try it? What sound does a cow make? Sawa. What sound does a goat make? What sound does a dog make? Na mtu akiwa na homa kisneeze anaendanga aje? Fantastic. So for the next minute, nyinyi ni ng'ombe. For the next 1 minute, nyinyi ni ng'ombe. Nyinyi ni mbuzi. Nyinyi ni dogi. Na nyinyi kwa na homa. Sawa? We try. Wonderful. Now, because we know what sounds these people make, I'm going to tell you a story. And as I tell you a story, when I mention the name of the animal or the action required, you will make your sound. So last week, I went to my grandmother's shamba. My grandmother had a cow. And that cow was standing right next to a goat. And then the cow and the goat were being chased by a dog. And my cousin had a cold, so it was so hard for them, they kept sneezing. Haya, so you've practiced. Now, sasa nitakuwa choir master. Nikiwa point, mseme ni yenu. Na mfanya haraka, sawa? One last time. Asanteni sana. Thank you all very much. We made wonderful music together.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Susan, for that wonderful